Yes, Cloudandus, talk to me. Fascinating idea. The animal has no sense of humor. What did he say? That I should release him from his cage and face him in hand-to-hand combat? What's this? I've got to save Cloudandus?
Hello, and welcome to the Loose Butthole Reviews. I am your host, Smokey, and joining with me, as always, is my co-host, Booge.
Meow.
And coming back to the Loose Butthole Reviews, we are returning with... Oh, shit. I am fucking this all up. Fucking before we even get into the review proper, I am supposed to give the 3 rules of the rating system. First rule is it's got to be a fraction of 5. 1 means you hate it. 5 means you love it. Rule number 2, if you are disappointed and you don't like the movie, you give it a good old Jeff Goldblum if you want your money back. And rule number 3, if we all agree that the movie deserves a 6 out of 5, a God tier, then it deserves it. Alright, now, this is the part where I go... And today we are reviewing, I can't believe I'm, Felidae?
Felidae. Yeah. Felidae.
From
Latin.
1994. The German animated adult psychological horror mystery.
Based on the book?
Based on the book of the same title. Yes.
Yes.
So,
Bet you didn't expect this to be reviewed. Bet you didn't expect to see this movie. Bet you never heard of this movie. People out there.
Some film buffs might, because this is actually the most expensive animated film made from Germany to this date.
Oh damn!
10 million.
It looked really good.
10 million Deutschmarks, or $5 million US dollars.
Damn.
Oh yeah.
Though, I'm surprised they haven't spent more. Because like compared to how things are, how expensive things are now, even some shitty movies now, I'm surprised they haven't broken that record.
It's very obvious that this was not very successful. On the when they actually released it, so
yeah, and I'm sure if they want to see an animated movie, they probably just wait for the German dub of some Disney movies.
And though this is a German film, most of this was actually made outside of Germany. It was made in mostly Canada, actually.
Oh.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm not too surprised.
Montreal,
most of
Canada,
animation.
Toronto and Vancouver.
Nice. All right. I'm surprised it wasn't set in there just for some tax breaks.
This was passed around, actually, because it went to Dublin, it went to Hamburg, it went to London, it went to Seoul, even.
Oh, is that
it
South
went to
Korea?
Copenhagen.
Is Seoul South Korea?
Believe so. Yeah, Seoul, South Korea.
Okay, yeah. That makes sense, because that's where most of the animation gets output now of today is usually in South Korea.
So yeah, this was a very expensive movie, and it was passed around like it was a poor sorority girl at the frat party.
Oh.
Yeah. There's a lot of studio. There's a lot of studios.
A lot of studios. Or honestly, like a female alley cat in Heat.
Oh yeah.
See, you should have kept it on theme.
Hey, I'm a bit tired, and it's been a while since we did these. I'm rusty.
That's why it's loosey goosey.
Oh yeah, this is definitely gonna be a loosey goosey.
Because murder definitely, I would not make murder watch this film.
Oh, definitely not. Definitely not. That's
A lot of dead cats.
oh, they lot, a lot, so much.
And
Dude,
oh, they did some of them even dancing around.
it it would be understatement if they named the movie Dead Cat Movie.
The dead cat movie. There.
I got the cast. We did there is multiple voice casts as because this is a German film, but I have the English cast. We have a Jeff Harding playing our lead Francis. Peter Marniker playing Pascal.
Mhm.
You have Bob Sessions playing Kong. You have William Roberts playing Joker. And you have Liz Rose playing the horny cat that we see as well. It's the best I can
Uh,
put it.
yes.
There
The
is some
the voice
contention.
acting in this was definitely interesting.
There is one role that has some contention in it.
Hmm?
Apparently, the cat Bluebeard, the detective, was either voiced by a Graydon Golden, Graham Parker, or Michael fucking Madison.
Oh shit!
Yeah.
Wait, who's Michael Madison?
He's Kill Bill's brother.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Got you.
Oh, yeah, he plays the crazy one in Reservoir Dogs.
Gotcha,
Yeah,
gotcha.
apparently he played the partner detective. There's three voice actors that are credited to the English role of this. I
I
have
wonder
to
if
point
there
out.
were there other dubs, like redubs.
I don't know. He's the only one that has any other English credits. All the other credits are German and French.
Oh, I wonder if it was like all three of them too. Maybe I don't know. It's weird. Like I wonder. I I wasn't really paying attention, but like it'd be cool like someday to watch this again and try to listen if there's a kind of a voice change at any point.
I didn't notice one, but there might have been. Who knows?
Mm.
But
Yeah, it was kind of hard because
that's
of how awkward it was all.
oh
All the
yeah, for
dialogue was.
sure. Some of it was definitely being read straight from the book. There's no doubt about it. Like the whole
Yeah,
passage it just taken.
big audiobook vibes from this. That's what actually kind of maybe kind of like get used to it. I was like, okay, I'm just kind of like I'm just watching like a a, a visual audiobook right now.
Yeah, that's how I was seeing it, especially in the way that I was watching it. It was like, okay,
Mm.
I can get
I
down to
wonder if the
this.
German. I wonder how much better the German was. You heard a little bit of it. You said that at least the main character was better.
Oh, so much fucking better. I wish it was subtitled, but it was
Yeah.
not subtitled
Yeah,
whatsoever.
I don't even know if there exists a subtitle. They probably only released dub because I mean back in that time people were like, yeah, people don't like to read.
Yeah. Oh, I would so much preferred it to have been fucking subtitled. But hey, the
Damn.
dub isn't too bad. Oh, I didn't mean to do
No.
that. But
Yeah,
yeah,
and
fucking
sometimes it was like some of like the voice actors, like some of them, like the characters are actually I could tell like they were good at what they're doing, but it was just kind of like the weirdness of the dialogue too, like the direction of it.
Yeah, it's also weird when you're reading from like an actual book instead of a script, because
Yeah,
the
especially one that has like little cat noises in between too that you gotta like interspice in the dialogue. Like no matter how good you are, that's always gonna come off really awkward when you go like meow.
hey, but the cats, you gotta make the cat noises, or it wouldn't make
Oh yeah,
sense.
I mean it makes it better.
Oh man. But yeah, that's pretty much all the production stuff that I could
Mhm.
find. Um, yeah, and Eric, the reception of it. Apparently, Eric Henson of Variety said the film lacked screen time for the plot, and it needed more to avoid confusion. Henson complimented the voices behind Francis and Bluebeard. That is some bullshit. But criticized Claus Mayer's Bride's voiceover as the by the numbers performance.
Hmm.
And I'm not sure if there is anything like Rotten Tomatoes or anything for this movie, but I can check.
My favorite of the VAs was Kong's.
Kong had a VA. Oh yeah,
The
yeah.
voice actor? Yeah.
I was thinking of the movie for a second. I was like,
No,
what?
no,
I was
Kong
thinking of the monkey.
the
I was
rapist
thinking of
cat.
hey, he, you got rape vibes from him? That's where you were getting.
Oh, he was actively trying to rape the main character. That's why he was chasing him.
I don't think that's what he was chasing him. He wasn't.
That's totally. That's why he wanted. That's why he wanted to fit him in. Like, uh, there's a bunch of entendres about him wanting to fuck him.
I didn't pick any kind of entendres up.
How did you not? I even joked with you about it in the comments where you literally said that, but he was like, "Ooh, look at your little girlfriend." How about you let me have a turn with him, huh? Then you're like, "Oh, I'll find you alone later, buddy." And then he corners him in the fucking basement too, and is like making fucking sexual comments
but
too,
then,
and then he tries to leap on.
but then we fucking see the jumping ahead into the plot. We see his lover, the one that he loved, his favorite
Yeah,
female cat.
that's what saved fucking hit the other dude from getting raped because he fucking saw
I,
one of the ones he loved.
I,
This dude he's like a prison rapist type of guy. Like he still has like ones that he still got his like actual wives.
I mean, they are in a cult. There is a cult going on, so you might be onto something, but I think you're reaching.
I'm not reaching at all. It was right fucking there.
But this has a 84% from the audience from Rotten Tomatoes and nothing from reviewers.
Mm. I'm gonna be curious to what a plot summary says about it.
I have a plot summary right here. We can get into the
Yes.
plot if you want.
I do. I wanna know if it is only me.
All right, so it says Francis, an intelligent and cynical cat, moves into a gloomy and dilapidated house with his owner, Gustav Lobo, a romance writer and archaeologist. The top floor of the house gives off a mysterious and distinct chemical odor. During Francis's exploratory tour of the house, he discovers the body of a cat who was killed by a bite to the neck. At the crime scene, he meets and befriends Bluebeard, a foul-mouthed, one-eyed, and mutilated Maine Coon. That's a species of cat.
Yes,
It's a species
they're
of cat.
huge. He didn't really seem like a Maine Coon to me, but
He
that's fine.
he seemed a little bigger than your average cat. And him
Mm.
being mutilated probably stunted his growth.
Yeah,
So,
yeah.
but yeah, soon Francis discovers another body, and the fact that his house's top floor is the meeting site of a cult of, this says sect, but it's definitely a cult of cats led by a cat named Joker, who is nothing like the clown whatsoever.
It skipped the Kong. Didn't Kong fucking attack them?
It
Or not
did.
attack them, but
It,
confront them before this?
yeah, it did. It did. They did skip over. They just
Fucking goddamn
completely
it!
skipped over.
That's one of the integral parts. And I wonder if they're avoiding it because of the rape vibes.
This guy. I don't know. We'll have to keep going. To see. The members of this Joker's sect worship an entity called Claudanus? Claudetus?
Claude, wasn't it like Claudanus or
Claude,
Claudantis?
Claudantis or something like that. Yeah, yeah. I
Yeah, yeah.
can't. And perform realistic suicide by throwing themselves into an electric current.
Oh,
Which
so they
is
were
really.
killing themselves. Because something
Yeah.
Bluebeard said later was just like, oh, yeah, it's just a show if you're doing tough. So I was like, oh, wait, were they just like passing out? But it seemed like they were full on killing themselves.
Yeah, yeah, they were. Bluebeard didn't know
He
what
was
was
way
going
too,
on.
he was way too casual about the whole thing. I wonder if he just like, because he survived, he just assumed. Maybe he was just like just taking them shocks like a champ because he's just like one of those cats.
Who knows? Who the fuck knows?
The
But
cats that are like the dog from It's Always Sunny.
they they really brushed this away after this whole scene. They just brushed this away like it was nothing.
Yeah, they do.
But yeah, when Francis's cover is blown, he is chased by the sect members through the city's rooftops. He escapes through a skylight and he meets a blind cat named Felicity, who supplies Francis with information on Clondantis' sect. On the cult. I'm just going to call it the cult if they bring it up anymore.
Yes.
So, the next day, Bluebeard takes Francis to Pascal, an elderly and tech-savvy cat who has taken to meticulously maintaining a list of feline deaths in the area, through which Francis learns that Felicity is the latest victim. Which, this is the first sign, which I should have picked this up, but this is his trophies. The killer is literally like hiding in plain sight, which is
Oh yeah.
I thought my first, because there's really no other sign that he's the killer but this little tidbit. At first
There's
I was
another
like,
tiny thing too.
I guess maybe they'll bring that up, but you'll have to bring that up if they don't. Because
Yeah.
this is all like, because I thought that plot twist was the dumbest plot twist. Because I thought he was keeping tabs on everybody in the area, of all the cats in the area, not just the dead ones.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I remember, and just in case, because I can't remember, because it's like during the investigation, when our main character goes back and just kind of like brings back some of his findings and to talk with Pascal. Pascal actually gets real, kind of gives some more hints because he gets real into like, oh, it's almost like he starts like really praising the killer, like how he's like a genius and that it was a puzzle that's just waiting to be solved.
Oh yeah, okay, yeah, I get you, yeah, for sure. Yeah, I see what you mean. But
So he's obviously kind of having fun with the whole thing too.
yeah. So Felicity was the latest victim. That night, Francis is haunted by a nightmare in which a famous friar and geneticist Greg Mendel leaves him with riddles. During a rodent hunt, Francis discovers a video recording that documents the top floor's previous use as an experimental laboratory. The laboratory was devoted to the research and development of a fibrin glue and tissue adhesive that would close wounds in an instant. The test subjects largely consisted of stray cats that, more often than not, died in agony as a result of the failed test runs. The one cat who survived the experiments was christened by the lab's technicians as clandestine Claudantis, Latin for he who should or must be sealed. However, Claudantis eventually murders the project's alcoholic and increasingly unhinged lead technician, Dr. Praetoris, leading to the escape of the other strays and closure of the lab. Claudantis,
The man was just following the liquor.
oh, he too much though. He was following it way too much.
He became the liquor.
Claudanus would subsequently become a legendary martyr figure revered by the modern day cult.
Which I did really like that scene, like that. It kind of reminded me of like a video game of when you like find the VHS tape, but like the like the fact that they don't really like they kind of leave out a little bit like the fact that the doctor is the one that let out Claudantis, like knowing that he was going to kill him too, because he'd been talking to him. You like let him out. He's like, this is our fight. We have to fight to the death.
We gotta fucking go. Let's go, motherfucker. Francis gradually traces the neighborhood cats who descended from the strays involved in the experiments and is confronted by Pascal, who reveals himself to be Claudantis. Following Claudantis' murder of the doctor, he was taken in by the doctor's former assistant Zebold and educated himself on Mendel's laws of heredity. In his pursuits, he saw an opportunity to create a breed of cat that would correspond to the primal ancestor of all domestic cats and be capable of wiping out humanity. The murdered cats, now including Joker, were deemed unworthy of breeding with the pure females that Claudanus had engineered. An additional obstacle in Claudanus' plot is the fact that he is terminally ill with stomach cancer. Although Claudanus deems Francis an ideal successor, Francis defies his ambitions and attempts to delete the data Claudanus had gathered. The ensuing fight between the two results in a house fire. Ultimately, their struggle ends with Francis disemboweling Claudanus and leaving him in the burning premises.
Man, they never mentioned Kong once.
Yeah. From
We're already at the end.
Francis saves himself an injured Bluebeard. Let's see here. There's gotta be at least mention. Kong, a deformed Himalayan cat who antagonizes Francis until his pregnant mate Solitaire is killed.
Antagonizes is very neutral. It says nothing.
They didn't give you what you wanted.
They didn't give me anything. They didn't even give me anything that I said explicitly no. I'm left unsatisfied. I'm left blue-balled.
Hey, I
guess
didn't
it's just
know
interpretation.
I didn't know Pascal had stomach cancer. I don't know
I
how
didn't
we were
either.
I didn't know how we were supposed to pick that up.
I don't know if that was. I mean, there was one point when he was kind of really blasting out some dialogue, and I might have missed it around there. But I guess it's kind of fitting of how he dies after. He just gets like full on disemboweled.
Let's see here. There's no plot summary on IMDb, so can't get that.
You know what? For anybody in the comments, watch this movie. Who do you agree with? Do you get some bad,
I
aggressive
got another
sexual
plot.
vibes from Kong?
This is gonna be a kind of a first for the Loose Butthole reviews. I got a plot summary here that's a bit more detailed. How about
There
we
you
go through it?
Okay.
Alright, so a cat named Francis moves with his owner to a new neighborhood, and no sooner has he set paw into his new home that he is greeted by the slain body of another cat. Local street cat Bluebeard is convinced that this and the other 3 recent killings must have been committed by a can opener, which is a cat slang for a human. Which, for a second, I thought they meant like a legit can opener, like a human was going around using a can opener on cats.
Nah. Yeah, I thought that too at the very first, and then I kind of caught it as you.
Yeah, I
you
caught
kept
on
using
after
it.
a while, but then I was like, damn, this shit's already getting dark.
It's like, especially if you have like a cat with a can opener.
Oh, man. But Francis disagrees, and as he finds out more about the victims, he is sure that not only is the murderer a cat, but the killings are all connected by one common factor. Each of the victims was sexually aroused at the time of death. He is aided in his investigation by fierce, gluttonous Bluebeard, the blind but wise Felicity, and the elderly, tech-savvy cat Pascal. His sleep is haunted by terrifying and vivid nightmares, which offer insight into the mind of the murderer. Francis soon runs afoul of the local bully Kong and the masochist cult that he's a part of. He discovers that his new home was once the site of a laboratory owned by a doctor. The doctor, in his search to create a bonding glue that would heal any flesh wound, performed painful and deadly experiments on countless cats, including the legendary killer himself. This particular cat was the first upon which the bonding glue worked, something Petraeus, the doctor, attributed to superior genetics. He continued routine vivisections on the murderer, and as his experiments continued to fall short of expectations, the doctor descended into alcoholic madness. One day, the long-suffering Claudius attacked the doctor, tearing open his throat. So after the doctor's death, the abandoned lab became a meeting site for the cult, who believed that the murderer was imbued with powers that could help the cat species evolve into something greater. Some believed that the murderer was ascended to another life, and that by sacrificing themselves through painful rituals, they may attain perfection. It is eventually revealed that the killer lives on, having taken the new identity of Pascal. That is a leap forward because there is still 2 paragraphs. Francis's mentor. Old and embittered, the murderer now seeks revenge against humanity, citing them as the only true evil animal. Through selective breeding, he aims to give rise to a new breed of feline, one perfect, one perfect enough to overtake the humans, using his owner's computer to keep a listing of every cat in the city. The murderer is systematically killing the cats he deems unworthy of breeding. He calls his database and his plan simply Felidae. When Francis confronts him, the murderer reveals that he is terminally ill with a form of stomach cancer. I completely missed that. Having been impressed by Francis's intelligence, he hopes that the younger cat will continue the Felidae project after he dies. Appalled by all the suffering the killer has caused in the name of racial purity, Francis refuses and tries to delete Felidae. Enraged, the murderer attacks him and accidentally destroys the computer, sparking an electrical fire. The two cats fight, and Francis eventually disembowels the killer, who remarks as he dies that he too was once as pure as Francis. Francis escapes the burning house, and all remaining traces of the killer in the Felidae project are destroyed. He discovered Bluebeard injured and bleeding out in the house, and Francis pulled him outside, and he ends up surviving the attack. Looking over the remains of the killer's home, he muses that there must be optimism for a brighter future for humans and Felidae alike. Hey, they mentioned Kong at least.
Well, everyone out there watching, watch the movie and then put down in the comment section if you got any bad vibes from Kong.
You know, we are on the wiki, so let's see what they say about Kong. Kong is a color point cat that lives in the same neighborhood as Francis. In the first novel, comic, and film, it's a minor antagonist, and later he returns in Death's Duel. Apparently, there's a sequel. In the movie, Kong is portrayed as a very unusual breed of large size, despite the book's description. His fur is orange. No, that's his appearance. Okay, so he is a very tough, huge, and dangerous, fearsome type of feline who quickly shows aggressive behavior towards strangers. He is especially aggressive towards newbies on the neighborhood as he tries to use his intimidating size and appearance to strike fear into them, though he backs down in fight when he knows he is no match for two cats. So, his first meeting with Francis was quite violent. Kong, believing himself to be the ruler of the neighborhood, challenges the very presence of Francis and tauntingly refers to him as Bluebeard's gay lover.
Yes.
So later, Kong attacks Francis alongside his minions Herman and Herman in the basement of Francis's home. There he even claims to be the one responsible for the murders, though Francis quickly realizes this is just a boast. During the fight, Francis manages to escape. While running away from garden to garden, he stumbles upon the body of Solitaire. As soon as Kong sees Solitaire's disemboweled body, with a gruesome sight of the fetuses she carried inside, he's angered by pain and grief. Solitaire is revealed to be his favorite female and supposed to be pregnant with his kittens. However, Francis later reveals that the she-cat actually cheated on Kong, and the killer killed her to prevent the birth of crossbreed cats sired by an unknown Felidae male.
So it seems like it's only me.
Yeah. After Solitaire's death, Kong stopped showing interest in attacking Francis and focuses his anger on the killer, even though he never makes a true contribution to the investigation. Yeah, nobody else is picking this up apparently.
I think it was just the clunkiness of the dialogue and maybe something with the translation that made it seem a little bit more homoerotic than because I think it was supposed to be more homophobic. But I don't know. He just kept going on like, "Oh, is that your little boyfriend?" And then he literally did say like, "Oh, how about I have a turn with him, huh?" So I totally just assumed that he's like he wanted to rape him. Like he was like, "Oh, this is I'm the king of the neighborhood," like fucking, like he's like fucking the big Bubba of the goddamn prison.
Oh my god. Oh shit. But yeah, that's Felidae. That's the plot. And
Yes.
that's what I could find on Kong. So I just didn't pick it up. I just didn't see it. I'm
curious if anyone else does out there.
I wasn't hoping, but I was expecting a much more serious moment. I was expecting a bit of penetration to happen between Kong and Francis, actually. when you brought that up, I was like, "Oh, okay, that's something to look forward to." And
because it would have been fitting because like sometimes there are just like sexually aggressive cats like that. Actually, like kind of new one.
But it got real close with the scene, but then it showed especially when it showed his the two henchmen with him.
Mm-hmm.
It definitely reminded me. I was like, "Oh, it's getting American History X up in here."
Yeah, that's what I assumed.
But yeah, no. After they met Solitaire, I was like, "Oh, I don't think he was. I don't think they. I think there's some wires crossing that. That's just being crossed."
I just thought he was bi. I just thought he was just like, "Oh, I'm gonna terrorize the cat by using sexual dominance, like with bullying." But then like, "Oh, then I also have my wives."
Hey,
'Cause I'm a cat.
He's also I guess you could also say that he's technically a jail cat.
Yeah. That's the vibes I got, and I want to know if there's anybody out there who watches this. Do you see it? Do you at least kind of see it?
Oh man. But yeah, that's the movies. Is there anything else we can add?
I guess other than just general final thoughts.
Yeah, I think it's time for final thoughts. Who wants to go
Final
first?
thoughts. I'll go because I mean I'm the one who picked this movie, and I just kind of just pulled this one straight out of my ass, just out of nowhere, out of the random memories. Because I technically this is like the first time I've watched this movie in I think 22 years. I think I was like 6 when I think this got like accidentally rented to me and someone didn't look at the ratings. They saw, it's like, "Oh, it's an animated movie about cats, like rich cats." But like the movie tells you inside the movie this ain't Aristocats.
Oh, it's definitely not Aristocats.
Though, funny enough, this has a lot more eugenics in it, but is somehow less racist than Aristocats.
That's true, but you can definitely tell there's some Nazism in this.
But it's portrayed as negative though.
Yeah, it's definitely portrayed in a negative light. That Germans can't portray it in a positive light.
Yeah. That's why I'll say it's less because in Aristocats it's just more of like fun, like ooh, fun Chinese man song.
Yeah, I get what you mean.
But yeah, this is just a random pull of like, oh, I wonder if I could just like, I remember you're kind of tripping it a little bit, and then I'm like, oh, just think of something that's like visually interesting. I think I remember that being visually interesting, and then you found it, and then we watched it, and I don't regret it. I think this is a solid. I think I'll give this one. I definitely am like interested to watch it again, especially like if there did exist like a sub of it would be prime. Um, but I think a 3.5 is where I'm landing with this one because
Ah,
it yeah. I think it did its job. It was real interesting. It wasn't too long either. That was nice. Very visually striking. There's like I think there's only one point I was kind of annoyed with the animation was during like this the ritual suicide scene when all the cats were like the same looking.
yeah, they got
But
lazy
I
and
understand
copy and
why.
pasted.
I understand why because there's a lot of animation going on. So like a lot of those cats were like getting electrocuted and like you know twisting around and stuff. So it'd be hard to like also like give them a bunch of different designs and colors. But but nothing big in that. Like a clunky dialogue. It made it easier kind of going into it thinking like, oh, this is kind of like an audiobook. Um, though I'd say like still probably the weakest VA in this is probably the lead.
Oh yeah, for sure. The English actor we have to point
Yeah,
out.
the English one, yeah. Yes, because we didn't. Apparently, there. I don't know if there even exists a sub of this, but hopefully,
Uh,
maybe someday it gets redone. Because I mean, it's the most expensive German animated film, so I mean, it's historic. So,
yeah. Maybe there is. I'll have to look around.
mm. But I love the kind of like juxtaposition of like it almost looking like we're almost like watching a Don Bluth film, but it's kind of fucked up.
Yeah, yeah, I get
So
you.
it was real interesting. I'm glad that I came back to that one. I'm surprised it didn't like traumatize me of like how much of a pussy I was at that age.
Yeah, I mean, it could have. There was a chance. Yeah, it's
Apparently, I didn't want to get raped by that cat.
yeah. Uh, so in a way, you were traumatized by it. I'm surprised. At least it didn't make you like completely like just in fear of cats.
Nah.
Yeah. Is that it for you? Is it my turn?
Yeah. Yeah, 3.5.
All right. I'm I'm gonna go ahead and say I'm exactly with you. I'm gonna give it a 3.5 as well. It's a very interesting movie. The visuals, like you said, are great. There was one part I didn't like it. I didn't mind the copy and paste scene. That scene was so quick that I didn't mind a little laziness. They're trying to get
Yeah.
through there as quickly as possible. The one scene that bothered me was the puppeteering scene. That animation seemed a bit unfinished. It
Oh yeah.
it seemed like there was missing a few cells, a few animation cells here and there. Should have been in there that wasn't there. So
I
that
could see that. That
scene
was probably my favorite one visually.
that scene just it got well the background to it just got it went white. It just went solid white, and I was like, "Ooh, that's
Mhm.
lame." It could have
Yeah.
been something else.
Yeah.
But yeah,
True.
that, and like you said, the lead's voice acting, there's no way around it. You just have to pretend you're listening to an audiobook that has one of the actors that had one of the audio readers that has an extremely skilled voice acting that just can change voices on a dime.
Yeah.
Yeah, 3.5 definitely. I hope this doesn't just disappear. This it was very. Thankfully, Archives had it, but
Mhm.
Internet Archives lost that lawsuit recently, so
Ooh.
yeah, might not be having that anymore. So it
You can also
hopefully
find it on
this.
YouTube.
Yeah, it's on YouTube. Yeah, as well. So it's not complete. That wouldn't completely erase it, but it's. I hope it doesn't go away. This is definitely
Yeah.
something to show like your teenage kid when if they're like interested in movies and films.
Mhm.
That I can see them like looking at this. Definitely, if your kid watches this and he relates to Pascal slash Claudandus, definitely don't let him have a cat. That is for sure. Yeah, 3.5.
Nice.
So, I think that's it. I think we've done it. I think it's
We
time for
did
the outro.
outro.
If you've been listening to us ramble this long, thank you so much. Please give the video a like. Please tell us what you think about the movie. Tell us if you think Kong is it got a little rapey vibe going to him. If you don't mind, uh, subscribe to the channel, turn on notifications, and I believe I'm missing something. No. Yeah, that's it. This is the part where I go, hey, does any of my co-hosts have a sign-off?
This is a new this is a new segment that I'll be bringing in, and it's what is your number one smoke spot of the movie?
Okay.
And mine's gonna be the little like cat like graveyard thing that was like under the house with what's his name, that old cat that was protecting the protecting it like it was like a tomb.
We gotta clean it
Or that.
out, but I'm with you.
Well,
We can keep some.
the cat
We can
skeletons make
keep
it cool.
we can keep some, but some of them weren't skeletons.
Oh yeah, it's gonna stink.
We gotta clear some of them out at least. Some of them's gotta go. But I'm totally with you on that one. And I got to remind everybody to tell their kids that cats die, music fades, and art is for keeps. And to go hell, Henry Sobrowski, you motherfuckers.
Hail Tillicum.
Oh. This will be, bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
I was in the laboratory. I did survive Praetorius's unspeakable tortures. And when he eventually went mad, I spoke to him.
You spoke to a man?
Fascinated.